Today we're making a very simple and easy no-knead focaccia. This focaccia is the perfect to get your bread game started right at home. We're keeping it simple with the toppings with just some plain rosemary. Also, we're going to make a delicious caprese sandwich at the end using this bread. If you do find this content interesting, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to our channel. Now for the dough. We're going to need a large bowl in which I'm going to pour 1 cup of water. Next, we're going to dissolve 1 teaspoon of brown sugar in it. This will help get the yeast activated. Add in 1 teaspoon of yeast to the water and allow this to sit for about 10 minutes in a warm place in your kitchen till your yeast activates and is fluffy. Next, we're going to add in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. We're now going to season this with 1 teaspoon of salt and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Use a silicone spatula to mix the flour with the water and yeast, and you'll see the dough come together in about a couple of minutes. You don't need the strength of your arms for this one. Cover this with a cling wrap and set this in your fridge for the whole of 18 hours. Yes, this is an overnight dough. We're really taking the fermentation far and long with this one. The next day, I've got my dough out of the fridge and it's almost doubled in size. We're now going to oil this guy up. Use some good quality olive oil here. It makes a world of difference to the end product when you use really good quality olive oil. I've poured about 1/4 cup into this. Pour a little onto your palms and fingers before getting handsy with this, let alone it starts getting sticky all over your hands. Gently begin folding the dough over itself. We want to do this a few times in order to get the dough to absorb all the olive oil. Next, grab a baking dish appropriate for the size of the bread and usually one that has a deep bottom. Pour in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And yes, a focaccia uses a lot of olive oil. Place your dough onto your baking sheet and try and spread it to the best of your abilities to each corner and ends of the pan. It will tend to spring back as you do this, but do not worry. We're going to rise this at room temperature for another couple of hours that will allow the dough to reach the sides of the pan. After about 2 hours, you can see the dough has perfectly risen and taken on to the sides of my pan. I told you be patient. Now using your fingers, you're just going to poke some holes into this dough. It's the most fun part of making this, to be honest. This will create these pockets of air and bubbles all throughout the bread that will result in one of the best textures. Now for toppings, you can bake it as is or go as crazy as you want. This is your playground. Go for caramelized onions, bacon, cheese, garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, literally anything you want. For purposes of this illustration, I'm just keeping it simple with some rosemary. Sprinkle some salt over the top. And now we're going to add one final thing to this before it goes into the oven. You guessed it, a few plugs more of olive oil. Bake this at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. And there you have it, a perfect and delicious focaccia right at home. Give it some time to cool before you start eating it though. I'm just going to cut off a slice to show you what it looks like on the inside. Now let's use this bread to make a caprese. Get a couple of slices of some fresh steak tomatoes and some fresh buffalo mozzarella. Place your tomatoes on the bread and always season your tomatoes in a sandwich. On goes the cheese and some chopped up basil. Next, hit it with some balsamic and a drizzle of olive oil and top it with the other half of the bread. Honestly, a caprese doesn't get much better than this with that homemade focaccia as the base, taking the sandwich to a whole new level. Do try this and let me know how it goes in the comments. Meanwhile, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more upcoming recipes. Thank you.